Today, Free Russia Foundation launches an online presentation of its new report, Authoritarian Response to the Pandemic. Being officially announced in late 2019, COVID-19 easily spread outside China's borders for the past 6 months, and due to the delayed response and downgraded dangers affected the majority of the countries in the world, causing a global pandemic. In the pre-coronavirus world, many tended to believe democracies were better suited to manage economic issues, ensure personal liberties and promote growth, while strong autocratic society seems to be better prepared for facing emergencies and dealing with different unexpected challenges such as epidemics. But has it proved to be true? The report focuses on 5 countries situated in Eurasia: China, Russia, Belarus, Iran and Hungary, all of which are led by authoritarian leaders and possess robust state machinery for population control. On these 5 cases, the report investigates whether there were any features in their response to the pandemic specific for autocratic regimes and what are the outcomes of their approaches. Dr. Vladislav Inozemtsev, author of the chapter about Russia, founder and director of the Center of Post-Industrial Studies in Moscow.
Many countries considered to be authoritarian, like China, where the pandemic started, like Russia, like Belarus, Iran, and many others, officially declared much smaller casualties and in many cases even neglected the idea that the pandemic is real, like in Belarus, for example.
Arseny Sivitsky, author of the chapter about Belarus, co-founder and director of the Center for Strategic and Foreign Policy Studies, an independent Belarusian Minsk-based foreign policy think tank.
You probably know that Alexander Lukashenko, Belarusian president, claims that there is no any threat of coronavirus pandemic, that it is only a psychosis. Initially his position was characterized as a dismissive anti-alarmism. And probably you also know about his personal medical advices in which he recommended to work in the fields, driving tractors, drinking vodka and attending sauna.
Klimo Term, author of the chapter about Iran, director of the Iran research program at the International Institute of Strategic Studies.
The situation in Iran was different than in other authoritarian regimes because the priority was economic survival of the Islamic Republic, because the health crisis came after the economic crisis linked to the maximum pressure strategy of the Trump administration against Iran.
Elizabeth Chen, author of the chapter about China, a researcher in US-China national security and policy issues, Johns Hopkins University graduate, worked at a number of think tanks, including the Al-Alliance, the East-West Institute, US-China Strong, and the Jamestown Foundation.
Countries such as China have tried to present a strong narrative of their response to the coronavirus as being a success and a triumph, particularly in contrast to the examples of the US and other Western democracies, which have had much higher caseloads and fatalities.
You can find the report, The Authoritarian Response to the Pandemic, on the website of Free Russia Foundation.